the more you consume and you don't let it out in the world again, it's like you're eating a lot of food and you're not shitting. Now, all of these kind of issues come because we are always just consuming a lot and we are not creating anything. This algorithm is killing our self-expression. People are not able to express themselves a lot. And even when they want to express their ideas, they will use 100 words for something that can be explained in 10 words. Humans in general are storytellers. They are not just story consumers, right? So we need to learn how to communicate and how to express ourselves. If you are not expressing yourself, you are just constipating yourself emotionally and intellectually. What happens when you're consuming is you're programming your subconscious. It is killing our clarity. At least in every family, one person should start creating and publishing. It has a really positive effect on everybody else around you when you start expressing yourself. And you will attract the kind of community that supports you. People don't know what you are capable of. So, this is the first video about the project that I'm building, which is Permissionless Creator. And the whole source of this idea came when I was very frustrated with my own behavior of consuming a lot of content. So I was spending way too much time in watching YouTube videos, watching reels, or either working or consuming. That's all. Like, I'm either doing stuff for like talking with my team and coordinating with my team and stuff like that, or I was watching videos. Now, I have a history of creating stuff for almost 15 years of my life, of my career. So since the beginning of my career, I have been creating something. I started as a designer, then got into filmmaking, then got into marketing and content creation. And there is a very different feeling you have when you create, which, like, once you taste the feeling of creating something, and it doesn't let you keep consuming for a long time. And every time you kind of get into that ditch of consumption, it pulls you back. It says, "Bhai, tu kya kar raha hai? Create kar." Right? That is what happened with me. So I decided, like, I need something so that I can keep myself motivated to keep creating. But I'm also at a point where the more I teach people or help others create content, the better I am getting at creating my content. So that is what I'm doing with this project, Permissionless Creator. But what I wanted to talk about is the problem that we are fighting right now, and that is of hyperconsumption. Now, what has happened is, because of consuming so much of content all the time, we have gotten into hyper constipation or mental constipation, right? So the more you consume and you don't let it out in the world again, it's like you're eating a lot of food and you're not shitting, right? That's how it feels mentally. And that is the reason everybody is so confused all the time. Nobody is sure what they want. There is no clarity. Today I believe something, tomorrow I believe something else, right? My opinions keep changing. I don't know what is true, what is false. Everything is so confusing. I don't know who to trust. Now, all of these kind of issues come because we are always just consuming a lot and we are not creating anything. And so what happens is, when you start creating, you force yourself to have an opinion and to get clarity about the things that you are thinking. And it also makes you deliberate about what you should pay attention to and what you should not. So for example, if I stop creating something and if I'm consuming on social media, I enjoy any random video. It doesn't matter what kind of video it is entertaining, I enjoy it, right? But once I started creating, the topic that I'm creating about, I only enjoy the content that I'm creating in the area of. So right now I'm creating about being a permissionless creator. So I tend to just enjoy content that talks about becoming a creator and contributing to the community and stuff like that. And all the other kind of content is just boring. And that's the beauty of creating, because it also focuses your attention on what you should consume, and you don't start consuming the kachra, right? And that is the beauty, right, of starting to create. The other problem that has happened, because we have become the slaves to these algorithms, this algorithm is killing our self-expression. Like people are not able to express themselves a lot. A lot of my people in my team, right, I keep encouraging them to create some content and post it on LinkedIn, and it doesn't matter if people like it or follow it, or they react on your post or not. And the reason for that is because I see them not able to express their ideas when let's say a meeting is going on. Most folks are not able to express their ideas, what they really want to say. And even when they want to express their ideas, they will use 100 words for something that can be explained in 10 words. That is what consumption is doing to us. It is killing our self-expression. It is just leading to a lot of constipation, where you just can't think straight and you can't express straight. That is again very harmful for us. Like, we are a civilization, or like humans in general are storytellers. They are not just story consumers, right? So we need to learn how to communicate and how to express ourselves, because if we are not expressing ourselves, we are not being human. And this hyper consumption that the algorithm has created, that is leading us to all kinds of mental constipation, because of there's just accumulation, but there is no outlet to what we are trying to consume. So that is another issue. One more thing that it is doing, hyperconsumption that it is doing, is it is killing our clarity. Because like I said, when you are watching 10 different reels back to back with 10 different opinions, you don't know what to trust. And even your subconscious mind doesn't know anymore what to trust, because you're not giving yourself time to sit and listen to what is coming out from inside. Instead, you're always responding to what is coming in from outside. So imagine yourself as a container that has the capacity to fill itself without any outside input. And then what you're trying to do is, you're trying to stop the self-fulfilling capacity, the self-filling capacity of that container, and you are just allowing everything from outside to come inside, while not allowing what is inside to come outside. So imagine the kind of pressure it must be creating, right? I personally feel not expressing yourself and not creating something has led to a lot of mental health issue right now that we have, that we can see. Clarity और all तो दूर की बात है, right? If you are not expressing yourself, you are just constipating yourself emotionally and intellectually. And another problem is, people don't express themselves because they feel, I don't have anything new to say. I don't have anything original to say. And that's again so sad, because we have this narrative in our minds that whatever you create has to be original. No, it doesn't. What needs to come out of your mouth is something that you believe in, something that you feel that you need to express, something that is coming from deep inside you. It gives you energy when you are saying it, right? You just light up when you are saying it. That's all is needed to express yourself. If that is there, then it is original enough, right? Nobody has said things the way you will say it, even if it is about the same topic. So just the act of you speaking it or saying it itself is original. So you don't need the content to be original. You just need yourself to be authentic while you're sharing it. Like, just share something that you strongly believe in. That's all. That's all is needed to kind of start getting rid of this mental and intellectual constipation that you have by hyper consuming all kind of content, right? Another thing that you can do with creating and consuming less is, what happens when you're consuming is you're programming your subconscious, and a lot of your actions start getting dictated by what the algorithm has decided to program you with. But when you start creating, let's say you're writing, right? You start writing your sentences and you look at what you have written, and then you start discovering, oh, this is not what I would say, right? Oh, this is not really inspiring me, this is not touching me, I'm just saying something that I have heard before, and I'm just kind of regurgitating everything out, like I'm just vomiting that, which is a good thing. That's the beginning, right? That's the process where you should start with vomiting everything you have in your mind on paper. And when you do that, you start realizing, oh, what is what's coming out of my mind and what's actually there that's coming from outside. Like, other people have programmed my mind with these inputs through reels and videos and different kinds of content, and whatever I'm putting out on the paper, what's inspiring, what's insightful, what is moving me, inspiring me, touching me. That is what you start realizing. You start to deprogram your subconscious by creating, because you don't have an option. Because if you have to create, you have to first get everything out on the paper and then see. And by default, as a sensible, commonsensical human being, you will start understanding how much of what you have written is really good versus how much is not good. And initially you will start realizing maybe 80% of whatever you are creating is not working. This is great, because now this is all the shit that is coming out, right? So you need to bring that out when you start. That's why, especially people who have not created at all, since school they have not written a single word, or they have not published anything. They have this big block of creating and publishing, but the whole idea is to start putting the shit out before the good stuff starts coming out. It's like a choked pipeline, right? You need to let all the shit out, and then you will start getting very good stuff, right? And you need to do that if you want to start creating and get rid of this mental and intellectual constipation. And that is why I always say, don't judge your thoughts in your mind, judge your thoughts on paper. It is like, just judging your thoughts in your mind is like feeling good about the pain you have in your stomach because of constipation, right? It doesn't work. When you put it on paper, all of a sudden your mind is free to kind of see what you're thinking is good or not, or if you can get rid of that. And why you should publish, so that is the creating part, but the publishing is equally important, because when you publish, it is like flushing the toilet, right? You won't just shit and not flush the toilet. You'll have to kind of flush it, and that's what publishing is. Once you publish it out, it doesn't matter. Do you worry about where your shit is going in the toilet? Exactly, that's how you should not worry about where your content is going, right? So, that is how you should treat it. Especially in the beginning, when you have started creating content, think of it like this. You have consumed a lot in your life. Now you have not let it out. So you have a lot of mental and intellectual constipation. So you need to shit. And you need to shit big, right? So you need to create a lot right now when you start creating. And you need to put it out, right? You can't just create and keep. It's like having a shit or not flushing your toilet. So just put it out, which is flush your toilet, which is publish stuff. And then you are at a point where you feel, wow, now I feel so light. Now I can also put in some good stuff so that good stuff comes out, right? So that is very important. So it's my whole reason for starting this project and community, Permissionless Creator, is to make sure that me and people around me start creating more. And thankfully, because of this, my wife has started creating a lot. And she has also found she is much more happier than she was before. And so I feel that every single person, at least in every family, one person should start creating and publishing. It has a really positive effect on everybody else around you when you start expressing yourself. Because first of all, when you start publishing your thoughts, people around you start really understanding you. and they get to know who you really are. People are surprised by what you are able to put out, by what you are able to create. People don't know what you are capable of. And once you start creating, first of all, your family will be surprised. Like, oh, you had this in you. Wow, we didn't know that. And then your friends will start saying, oh, dude, you could create so much content. Like, you could talk so much. I didn't know that. And then there are strangers on the internet who will find you. You will attract the kind of people that you love, or who love you, right? Who like what you are trying to say and who like your message. And you will attract the kind of community that supports you. And when you have the support of that community, you get a lot of encouragement to do something. People are listening to you. Now you have some capacity to create an impact on your community, right? So I think creating anything is like any good practice, like exercise, meditation, or eating healthy food, breathing properly. So creating is exactly like one of those like hyper meta skills which lead to good things in many other areas of your life. So yeah, this is what I wanted to create as the first video of Permissionless Creator series. And I just want to make sure that through this, whoever joins this movement, community, right, is able to start creating and start building some kind of leverage in their life. And I'll talk about leverage more in one of the next videos. But the whole idea is to be in a position where you don't have to need anybody's permission to live your life. And creating content can do that for you. You can achieve that kind of freedom for yourself in life when you create from a place of self-expression and adding value to the world. And so we will talk more about that in one of the next videos. So yeah, this is it for today's theme, which is get rid of your mental and intellectual constipation and start creating. So if you like the kind of videos that I'm making and the stuff that I talked about in this video, you might like more stuff that I'm going to put out later. It's going to add a lot of value. So like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, whatever you feel like.